Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 New Dawn run. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing a run that seems synergistic but is actually surprisingly difficult, Hunter with Hiking Pole. Now obviously this seems like a strong combination on the surface. Hunter scales with range, Hiking Pole scales with range, Hiking Pole gives you range, so it should be really strong. But this is actually a harder run than it looks like at first. Hunter really benefits from having a weapon that helps defend you because the max HP modifier is such a difficult penalty to overcome, and Hiking Pole is fairly bad at that. It attacks very slowly, and even though we will be scaling its damage, it does have lower base damage than a lot of other weapons. We also completely lose the effect of the support weapon tag because Hunter can't use harvesting, and Hiking Pole gives you harvesting from its weapon category. So we're going to have to overcome those downsides. Now, I'm not going to say that this is like the hardest run in the world or anything, but for a weapon that should be synergistic with the character, it's surprisingly difficult, and that I think is what makes it an interesting run, because it's kind of counterintuitive how it works out. You'll notice that we only have 7 starting HP, and you'll also notice that unfortunately the last attack there didn't go off. I lined up all those enemies, but we were just short of being able to attack because Hiking Pole has such a low attack speed, so we missed out on 5 materials there, which is pretty painful. Here I could take melee damage or percent damage, but percent damage we'll get by buying range. Base damage on our weapon we will also get by buying range because of how the Hiking Pole works. So I really just need movement speed to boost my Hiking Pole, the rate at which we get range. I need HP and I need range, of course. So I'm going to roll here, and do I want to take luck or move speed? Both are economy stats, but I think we'll actually start building move speed really early on this character, because that way we can get extra range by taking more steps with our Hiking Pole, and that will scale our damage faster. So the speed here is an economy stat. Whistle is worth locking. Baby Elephant is probably not, and I doubt we're ever going to use it. I'll leave it in the pool just because it's a fun item. Maybe we end up using it, but we could have banned it there as well, and then we'll lock the bag, of course, and then we're rolling for more Hiking Poles, and we'll roll again and grab another one. All right, we found 3. That's not amazing, but this is a fairly expensive weapon, so finding 3 is about par for how much we would expect. Now, with this weapon, of course, we need to never stop moving, because then we won't be generating additional range. So I need to make sure I'm walking as many steps as possible. And I go over here, and I think, yeah, we were able to kill that tree there. Looks like we were still not able... Oh, no, okay, we did get 3 range, so that's good. Here, I'm going to take 5% attack speed. Attack speed is going to be our most important stat by far with this weapon. Not only is it a slow attacking weapon by default, which means we need to build attack speed to make that happen, and with our low max HP, having faster attack speed to help avoid taking damage is really important. We're also going to be decreasing the attack speed by increasing the range. With melee weapons, because the animation takes longer, the longer their range, you lose a little bit of attack speed. It's taken into account in the cooldown calculation here, so when you see the cooldown number, the 1.39 seconds, that includes the extra range. But we do need to pay attention to that, because we're going to be getting so much range on this weapon. It actually will be a meaningful decrease to our attack speed, which we're going to need to offset. Most of the time you can safely ignore the penalty to attack speed that increasing melee weapon range gives you. The numbers are just so small that for most builds, it doesn't matter at all. But for builds like this one, where we're going to be boosting our range an enormous amount, it does actually come up. Making sure to pick up as many materials as possible here, of course, and we gained 2 levels, which is great. Here, I'm going to take 15 range. We'll be building a lot of range by running around, but boosting this early can be pretty helpful. And then I will take 2 armor, just because it's a level 2 upgrade. Armor will be a lot less effective because we are going to have such low max HP, and armor is basically a multiplier on your maximum health. But we will still need as much armor as we can get, because we're playing Brotato, and that's just how it goes. We'll lock the Hiking Pole. Baby Gecko is pretty nice, the extra range and the material drop are, of course, useful. And Beanie, although we lose 6 range by buying it, the extra move speed will more than make up for that by giving us extra range from moving faster with our hiking poles. So we'll definitely take that as well. And then here I'm going to lock the eye patch as well. We'll buy these 3 items, and then we can ban the eye patch and get a free reroll. Something I've been thinking about more lately too, especially in a run like this where we found 2 items right away that we wanted to lock and didn't ban anything in the first 2 shops, is using your bans to get free rerolls more than to remove items from the pool. Obviously, removing items from the pool is pretty valuable, but free rerolls are really good and worth a lot of money. So saving bans for shops like that, where you can ban the last item and get a free reroll, I think is actually a pretty powerful strategy that might be even the most optimal way to use bans. That's something that I'm still experimenting with, but it's definitely an interesting direction. In a roll here, and so I could take 6 max HP. It's super important to get some maximum health on the Hunter, because you've minus 33% maximum health modifiers. That includes the max health that we get by leveling up, so we're going to be losing max health overall very quickly. So buying, or compared to the normal curve that you would have, we won't actually be losing max health, but compared to a normal character, we'll have a lot less. So buying some, just so we don't get one-shot, is a really high priority. That said, I think I'm going to take 10 luck here. I do want to build some luck eventually, so we're going to make sure to do that. We will buy a hiking pole, and then... Now, unfortunately, I was 1 material short of being able to buy all 3 and then still... ban the eye patch for the free reroll. I think I'm going to ban it anyways and do a reroll that costs money, because I really do want to boost, to find more weapon levels and everything as well. Insanity is worth buying. On the Hunter, we do have crit chance modifiers. Even though hiking pole only gets 1.5x crit damage, building crit is still pretty useful on this character, because we can use the crit synergy items much more effectively, and we get it at a higher value. So that's another reason that this weapon isn't as good for Hunter as you might think, because it doesn't really use the Hunter's critical hit bonus as well as other weapons, or really that effectively at all. But I think you do still want to build critical hit when you find it in an efficient way, like from an Insanity. Unlike a normal Hunter build, though, you don't want to go wildly out of your way to build a lot of critical hit. And again, we're moving around trying to make sure that we get range. Ideally, we'd have gotten that second wave of range before the end of the wave. Unfortunately, we didn't. I'm going to roll here, and I'll take 3 regen. We will want some regeneration eventually. Here we can buy the whole shop, and then we'll roll, and... Head injury does cost me minus 8 range. Now, there are times where this could still be good. The Hunter does gain 1% damage for every 10 range, but basically this means that head injury is still plus 5% damage. But when we're using hiking pole as our weapon, which also has its base damage be based on our range, I don't think that head injury is efficient to buy for 40 materials here. So I'm just going to reroll. We'll buy another hiking pole, and we'll lock a lost duck. Increasing our luck is going to be really good as well. Alright, so I'm really hoping that we find a broken mouth or something. We definitely need some maximum health very soon. If not, I will have to invest a few level ups in boosting my max HP. And I would prefer not to do that, because our level ups are going to be important for things like attack speed. You can see here that attack speed is our main challenge right now. We're one-shotting everything, our base damage is really high, but we're just not attacking fast enough. And because my max health is really low, the speed at which we're attacking, the slow speed at which we're attacking, is pretty dangerous, because I could die in 1 or 2 hits. And unfortunately, that did cost me the kill on that tree there. Scope is kind of interesting. So it does give us 2.5% damage, which is extremely marginal. We don't care that much about that. And then a little bit of base damage on our hiking poles, but losing 7% attack speed is terrible, so we're just going to recycle this. I'll take 6 movement speed here, and then I think just 2 more armor. I could roll for max health, but we'll pick up a little more armor first. We're going to go ahead and buy both of these items. And then here's a spot where I could ban 2 items and get a free reroll, and I think I will. Neither of these are items that we want to have show up, so banning both of them just feels pretty good. And then here we will again be able to get a free reroll by banning the last item in the pool. Metal is going to be incredible. It does cost me some crit chance, but it's all stats that we need otherwise. And Clockwork Wasp I will buy as well because move speed is so important for this character, even at a relatively inefficient rate. It just scales my damage stat so much. Alright, so again, hoping for some attack speed to show up pretty soon. Max HP and attack speed are the stats that we need. Had to basically let that walrus charge past us, do 1 round of attacks on it, and then wait for my attacks to come back off cooldown so that we could go back after it, and we were able to do that. You can see we're now starting to build quite a bit of bonus range from our hiking poles, because I bought some movement speed, so that's starting to stack up a lot. And that will increase our base damage, which will let me focus exclusively on defensive stats, basically from now on. Just boosting our max HP and our healing. 4% dodge is not that exciting, and we can't use the harvesting, so I'm just going to recycle the Peaceful Bee here, and then I'm going to roll. And do I want 3 regen? Probably. I'll just take some regeneration. We'll buy the metal, and the Clockwork Wasp will increase my my range income, so it's good for our economy. We'll lock the metal plate as well. Cake, I'm thrilled to buy. Plus 2 HP is enormously powerful for us. Triangle of Power, also very good for this character. Blood Leech we're going to pass on. I don't really... It doesn't cost me any harvesting, so it's tempting there. But 79 for the regen I think is actually too expensive at this point. Our regeneration of 6 is not good, but we need more max health before we really focus on regeneration at this point. So I'm hoping that I get to about 25 max health before I hit level 10. That seems pretty unlikely, so I'll probably have to spend my level 10 upgrade on plus 9 HP, which will, of course, for the hunter only be plus 6 HP. If we had a little more max health, then I could spend my level 10 upgrade on 15% attack speed, which is the other stat that we really need. But with 17 max health going into these middle waves, we're just in too much danger, so I need to actually boost my max health. Cauldron does cost me 2 regen, but I think it's still worth taking, and then this is our level 10 upgrade, so let's go ahead and roll, and we'll pick up some maximum health. Gonna roll again. Okay, we're not doing great here. So I missed a bunch, and I don't want to reroll for 21. That's so expensive, so I will take the attack speed, but that means we so badly need to find more maximum health. Ugly Tooth is an interesting way to defend ourselves from elites, but we actually have horde waves and no elites, so I'm going to pass on the Ugly Tooth because slowing enemies in the horde waves just doesn't matter, and reducing our move speed is bad for this character. But really what we need is attack speed. Buying attack speed over max HP in our last level up does have the... is a little better for the upcoming horde waves. We would rather have attack speed than max health, because for horde waves what you need to do is kill everything before it hits you. It doesn't really matter if you can tank damage, because there will just be so many enemies that if you can't outpace them by killing them, you can never outpace them by tanking through them on most characters. Whereas if we had an elite, we would prefer to have more max health, because on elites it's often safer to try to build defensive stats and tank through what they're doing. I will say that we're making still reasonable income at this point, so I'm fairly happy with that. Weird food is nice healing. Okay, well, we got our 9 HP upgrade, so we got plus 6 HP, and then 15% more attack speed. Those were some incredibly lucky level ups, and we're thrilled to see those. We'll definitely take Baby Squid. I do want more regen. I'll take Triangle of Power here. And then I think I'm just going to ban these two. These are both items that we don't care about. I haven't really used my bans up until this point, so we'll go ahead and get a free reroll here. Spicy Sauce I'll take as well for 2 more HP. Celery Tea I think we will pass on this character. I'll take the Shady Potion. Doubling enemy health when our damage is good, but not good enough that we can easily kill enemies in one shot when they have double health, is just too dangerous, I think. And Bait, when we have 26 HP, also too dangerous. So I might just ban these last 2 items, and then we can take our free reroll, look for more weapons, and so on. And this was actually worked out really well, because if I hadn't gotten the free reroll, we wouldn't have been able to afford the treasure map here. So we got that right away. Leather Vest I'm still going to buy, even though it costs me max health, because armor is great and dodge is still reasonable on this character. Dodge is definitely worse because we have to spend correspondingly more on maximum health on this character, meaning that we have less money overall to spend on defensive stats than other characters would. So we can buy dodge less reliably, because often we're going to have a choice of, 9 HP or 9 dodge on a level up screen, and we'll always have to take the HP pretty much, whereas another character might have been able to take the dodge. Since dodge scales both with the amount of dodge you already have and with the amount of maximum health that you have, it's harder to build dodge on this character, so that's why I haven't been prioritizing it. Sometimes I will see people ask me if, shouldn't you prioritize dodge more on lower health characters, and it's exactly the opposite. Dodge has more of an impact on your effective HP, the more HP you have. Because it basically acts as a reduction of incoming enemy damage. So the more health you have, the better dodge is. I'll buy the fruit basket as well, and wheat doesn't give us harvesting. It gives me 4 melee damage, which is basically 2 damage on each of our weapons. Is that worth 42 materials? I think not. We're pretty poor, because we can't use harvesting on this character. So I think rather than take the wheat, we'll just recycle it. Here, I'll take 3 regen. I have reduced my regeneration quite a bit, so I want to increase that again. Spyglass we'll take, because it gives us range. The reduction on rerolls will never pay for itself, because this is a low economy character, but the additional range is still good, and it's reasonable enough. And then we can take Shady Potion and Blindfold here, and then roll. I actually have 8% crit chance, which isn't amazing, but Hunting Trophy is one of the ways that we can boost our economy stat, because we're the hunter, so we get extra crit chance. So Hunting Trophy is a great find. We're also thrilled to finally find a leveled up hiking pole, since we've been stuck with these 2 level 1s. So we've got some really nice items locked in the shop, just have to survive this coming wave. I would have loved to get the Hunting Trophy before the Horde Wave, of course, because you make a lot of money off of Hunting Trophy on a Horde Wave. Taking some hits here. We have enough luck and a fruit basket that we should be able to rely on consumable healing to keep our health high, but you can see that my low attack speed is really causing us to struggle on this wave, because it's a Horde Wave, so enemies are just dealing damage to us. It's very hard to avoid taking hits. And take at least 1 hit, working my way around here, and then I'm gonna move around this way. I was kind of saving that group of consumables for when we took damage. I need to make it through 5 more seconds. Any chance I can kill this loot alien before the end of the wave? No, I was taking too much damage there. Banner is incredible, of course. 10% attack speed matters a ton, and the range increases our damage output. Ice Cube, I'm just going to recycle. This character will not really want to build elemental damage. We don't want to have to find a Scared Sausage or a Frozen Heart to make the Ice Cube useful, and 27 materials is worth a lot. This is a spot also where I think a lot of players will take the Ice Cube and lower their win rate by doing that. Because it's so tempting to go, it feels bad if you then find a scared sausage, but the extra money is just so much more impactful. We're gonna take all of these items, of course, and get a free reroll, which is great. And then here is some more maximum health, which is perfect. So I'm gonna buy both of these, and then I'll take another free reroll here. Peacock we can take as well. The extra XP gain is good, and Alien Magic is gonna be great. That increases my max HP even further. So we'll hit 40 max HP, which is, on the Hunter, not a bad value to be at in the middle of the game. That's actually comparable to what a lot of builds would be at this point on Abyssal Terrors, where I tend to build less HP than I do on Crash Zone. So, by prioritizing building maximum health, we've managed to boost our max health fairly effectively. And the nice thing about this weapon, because, I've said that this weapon is harder than it seems on the character, and I think you've gotten a good sense of why that is the case. One thing that's really nice about this weapon is we can afford to just spend all of our money on defensive stats, because the combination of playing the Hunter, so range gives us % damage, and using Hiking Pole, so range gives us base damage, and using Hiking Pole so we just get more range over time, means we don't have to buy any damage output other than attack speed. This is level 15. I could take 4 regen. That's going to be pretty good. I could roll for crit chance because we have a hunting trophy. I think I would take crit chance, attack speed, or maximum health over regen. So I'm going to roll here because there's a lot of stats that we would prefer. Do I want dodge? We actually have 7% dodge, so I could start building dodge on this character, even though I said it's not as good. But I think I'm going to roll again here and crit chance or attack speed. Critical hit, of course, is good for our hunting trophy, but attack speed I think is just too important to pass, so we're going to take that. We'll pick up critical hit a little bit later on. Oh, I should have bought the dangerous bunny here. I did the math wrong. But we'll buy the defective steroids anyways, just for more max health, and then we'll roll here. Vigilante ring, we could use. It's still a decent amount of % damage, but I think, again, we're going to focus on other stats more than, and not worry about the stats that we're getting for free just from the character that we're playing. So you can see here, even with 10 armor, with 42 HP, any damage that we take is pretty dangerous. The attack speed is really important, again, because we have a horde wave coming up, and I want to make certain that we can survive that. Ouch. That was half my health in one charge from the goblin shark there. We are gaining regen over time, so that's definitely in our favor, because we have the baby squid. Okay, can I get this loot alien? I could have used manual targeting to kill that, and that probably would have been better. The hourglass is a really nice find, actually. This is great for this character. Having just one more wave to build up extra range and more levels and everything will help a ton before we go into the horde wave. So Hourglass is actually a phenomenal find here. I'll take the Ugly Tooth when it's free in a box. That can make it a little easier to fight elites later on. And although the dodge is still okay, I still think I need attack speed. But here we'll take the crit chance because it showed up very cheaply. Now that was a Peacock wave. So that was part of why we were taking so much damage when we took a hit. I actually am not certain if Peacock will trigger the increased damage on the Hourglass wave. If this was a bait, then we would still get the lamp respawn, even though we bought it on the previous wave. So I suspect that the enemies will still be doing plus 50% damage on this coming wave, so I do need to be pretty careful there. Cursed Spyglass is a great find. We'll take an Insanity as well. We'll lock a Garden for more healing, and then I'll roll here. Acid, I will definitely take. Ghost outfit on this character cost me a bunch of move speed, and I don't think we want to build dodge, so we're going to pass on the ghost outfit. Alright, so I don't have an opportunity to test whether enemies are doing extra damage early on, because I would die if they are doing plus 50% damage. I'm still one hit from death, so I need to be pretty careful about my movement until we're back to full health. Then I might walk into an enemy just for science, just to see if they're doing the extra damage from the peacock. Unfortunately, the game doesn't display that anywhere, so there's no way to tell. But yeah, let's take a hit from, let's say, this goblin shark. Okay, so it did 12, so it's not doing the extra peacock damage. I'm reasonably sure. But that's an interesting thing to know. I wonder why peacock works that way and enemy spawns from... Oh, nice. We got the loot alien there. And enemy spawns work the other way. I'll take hit injury when it shows up for very cheap in a box like this. We'll lose a little bit of base damage on our weapons, but with 350 range, we'll keep getting more, and the percent damage is still valuable. We can roll here, and I'll take 3 regen. Building up our regeneration is very helpful as well. Let's roll again. We'll take another dangerous bunny, but I'll do a reroll for 5 here. Capping my max HP at 49 is not great. More attack speed of any kind is super valuable, so we'll take the improved tools. We've got 2 items locked, so even for when it only costs 7, I'm going to save my money. Another really good item that we could maybe find would be a crystal. Any attack speed boost is amazing. We already have Triangle of Power, so we want to avoid taking hits regardless. So if we were to find crystal, that would be a big boost for us. Also, any crit chance would be great as well, of course, because we do still have the hunting trophy. Night vision goggles would, of course, be amazing. They give 15% crit chance and a bunch of range, so that would be a great pickup for this character. And again, I'm trying to navigate so I don't take too many hits, although with 50 HP and a reasonable amount of armor, we're in much better shape if we do take damage. We'll take the blindfold here. Okay, perfect. A 9% crit chance boost. That goes super well with our hunting trophy. We'll take Dangerous Bunny and Improved Tools, and we'll roll. I'll take a Shady Potion, and I'll do another reroll. Jerky is going to be great. Schmoop is going to be great. We'll take a reroll here. I could have got the Alloy for the crit chance, but I don't think I want it. And I'll reroll once for 7 on this wave. I know I didn't last wave, but 7 materials is less this wave than it was last wave. And I think it was pretty marginal, that decision. Also, if I'd been able to find anything that I could afford, like a coffee or something, which I think we could still have bought, it would have been a really big pickup going into this horde wave, of course. That one vampire squid was really scary there. Just like a real vampire squid. Spooky animals. So you can see here that the sound is bugged out. Too many enemies are spawning. And we're not picking up materials anymore. We've dropped too many on the ground. And so, unfortunately, I'm going to have to... I will run in and try to pick up a bunch before the end of the wave, but we left 100, and I wasn't able to get that loot alien kill, which is okay, but because we still made 800 materials. I'll take the crit chance here, of course. We're very happy about that. And then... Interesting spot here. So I actually don't desperately need max health anymore. I need to regen more, but I think we'll just take 3 armor. Armor is super valuable for this character. And then we've actually built 10% dodge, so maybe I can start building dodge before the end of the run. I think I will do that. We'll take both of these. Finally got another hiking pole upgrade. And we'll reroll here. Not is this is another spot where not is exactly the right purchase. It would be an incredible boost to our ability to win this run. People misevaluate this item tremendously, by the way. This is like one of the strongest items in the game. I just personally dislike buying it because it's less fun for me, it's less fun for you guys when I can't buy like a cool legendary item. But Not is incredibly efficient, especially for this character, and if you just want to win, you should usually buy it. The cost of not being able to upgrade or recycle weapons isn't a real cost. It's an opportunity cost, but you can just spend that money on other things that make you stronger. So the downside of this item is basically not a real downside. So just worth keeping that in mind. I'm still not going to buy it here because I want to be able to buy, you know, powerful legendary items, but I do see people misunderstanding this item. Here we will take the tree. I don't want to lose armor, and I do want the sunglasses, so I think I will take those. Gummy Berserker gives me range, but costs and armor. Range and attack speed, both good stats, but costs and armor. We're actually close to the ball and chain minimum. I think I'm just going to pass on both of these. We'll take a gentle alien. I'll take the acid here, and then I'll do another reroll and one more, and level up our hiking pole by a garden as well. But frequently you will see me not buy not. And that's because, you know, I'm playing these runs for fun, and I'm recording them for YouTube, and it's more fun if a cool legendary item shows up and we can take it. If I was just trying to optimize my win rate, I would probably buy not almost every time I saw it. And one thing about Brotato also is that you can make you can make some decisions that are based on increasing your fun, and still have a 100% win rate, once you know the game quite well. I think that if the game didn't have that wiggle room in it to have, like, personal preference and stuff, it would be a worse game. Yeah, I'll take the clover here. We can keep building dodge. Building luck is really good. Cursed Black Flag, that's awesome. Always an incredible find. And this is going to give us a huge amount of additional income as well. We actually don't need more max HP, so I'm going to reroll this, and I'll take 2 armor. Poisonous Tonic is incredible. We want more attack speed, more crit chance. So actually, can I buy all of these items? Looks like I can, so we'll just buy everything here. Plant we will take as well. Beanie, a lock, Scar. My XP gain is really high. I don't think the Scar will have time to pay off. 3% crit chance, not that good with the pile of books, so we'll re-roll that, and we'll take a hiking pole and a cake, and we'll re-roll because it's free, and go to wave 17 here. So this is an unlucky elite for us. Fortunately, our damage is high enough that it shouldn't matter, but this elite wants you to remain motionless, which obviously we don't want to do when we're playing a hiking pole run. Also, with our extra... I walked into a lot of attacks there, so I need to be a little bit more careful here. With our extra range, it can be difficult to arrange it so that our weapons are actually hitting the elite, because they'll often want to go off into other directions and attack other stuff. And with low attack speed, that can cost me a lot of DPS on the elite. I could have manually targeted down using mouse controls there. I was just too lazy, and I thought we could get it anyways, as was in fact correct. Getting a reasonable number of Curse Alien kills as well there. I don't want to lose max HP. Buying melee damage or getting some melee damage just doesn't matter that much, so I think I'm just going to recycle the robot arm. Let's reroll here, and we'll take 5 more regeneration. That's a huge upgrade to my survivability. Go ahead and buy all these items, and then roll. Losing move speed, of course, hurts when we're playing hiking pole, but warrior helmet's such a good item for us. Of course, we're going to take it. There's the crystal that I was talking about. That actually is a great find for us. We'll buy the other spicy sauce, although Actually, I don't really need more max health. 69 is kind of the perfect number. And here's a cursed hiking pole, so, you know, we're glad we didn't buy the knot there, even though it would have helped me win more reliably. Shackles, I don't want to lose move speed, but I don't care that much about capping my move speed, so I'll take the shackles. These two curse items, you know what, let's just buy them because they're cursed and that's fun. And then we can actually get quite a lot of engineering damage from a cursed lighthouse. Regretting not taking the pile of books now, because we have super high crit chance, and we're going to buy the lighthouse. If I get, like, a pocket factory, then that will work really well with that, of course. Not that that's a high priority for this character, but at this point the run is pretty in hand, especially because we're going to get a really strong cursed weapon, which will help us kill the bosses a lot faster. And that's the thing I was worried the most about. Taking these hits is actually really bad, though, because it's turning off my crystal bonus, which is a big component both of keeping us safe and of clearing the wave faster. Handcuffs now. You know what? Let's cap my max HP at 69 just for the memes. And Goat Skull, I'm going to recycle. Here, I'm going to roll, and we'll take 16% more damage, kill the bosses a little faster, take a hiking pole, and just going to buy out this whole shop. We'll wait on the lighthouse, because it doesn't do anything currently. Okay, Frozen Heart. Is this any good? We didn't buy the Ice Cube earlier, so we could have had the debuff damage. Greek Fire doesn't do anything for us. I think I'm just going to pass on both of these. Although I do have 10 elemental damage, so we get some crit chance and basically +2 damage on each of our weapons. Still just not worth it. That's the unfortunate truth of Frozen Heart, is that the damage scaling from elemental damage is so low that it's rarely worth it to buy that item unless you're a full elemental build. We are getting 1,000 damage criticals now, which is pretty nice. Kind of waiting for my attack speed to boost itself using the crystal. Because as our attack speed increases, we can clear this wave significantly faster and much more safely. And you can see that even though there's more enemies spawning, because we're later in the wave, there's actually fewer enemies on the field because I had stacked up my crystal bonus. Now, I lost it there by walking into that attack, so we will start getting pressured again. But as the crystal bonus increased, we were able to keep the wave much cleaner. We'll recycle this, and then... Yeah, I'll take 12% dodge. Going up to 33% dodge is pretty good. We'll take 15 attack speed. We'll buy all of these items. We'll roll here. Sniper gun also scales with range and is just fun, so let's go ahead and buy the sniper gun. I'm curious how much damage it'll do in the last wave here. Then we'll roll. Take a Cursed Tentacle. This is a great way to stay alive on this character. It's a lot of healing. And Blood Leech could give me 2 regen. I don't think we need that specifically, though. Let's take the hiking pole. Lumberjack shirt doesn't do anything going into wave 12. Glasses is okay. I think it's worth buying here. And then I could reroll, or I could just buy the Cyberball. I'm not sure there's anything else we'll be able to buy, but Cyberball is just not going to be impactful, so let's roll here. And we did find some other stuff. We'll take the glasses here as well, and then do another reroll, and then we'll go to the last wave. So the nice thing about the sniper gun here is that it has tremendously long range, so we can keep DPSing the bosses from really far away and much more safely. Also, our dodge coming in handy there. It was keeping my crystal bonus alive. So even though I've walked into several attacks this wave, we've gotten fairly lucky on dodges and never lost our crystal bonus, which is great. All right, so there we go. That is Hunter with hiking poles. This is a fun run. It's definitely more challenging than you might think at first. And you saw that there were times where we were in some danger, though we were able to pull it out, of course. Let's take a look at our items here. So bag for 345, obviously great. Coupon for 348, also amazing. 14 regen from the baby squid, actually a little lower than I thought this would be. We got it pretty early, but and we hit level 26, but 14 of course is still a tremendous amount of regeneration from one item. Only one item from treasure map. We had 100 luck and an hourglass, so we had an extra wave and everything. So only one bonus item from treasure map is wildly underperforming the average on treasure map, I'm pretty sure. Whether because we didn't drop enough boxes or whether because we just missed on our 20% chance a lot, I'm not 100% sure. I think we got fairly unlucky just on number of boxes that we dropped. Although I did miss a couple loot alien kills, which would have made this better as well. 360 or 763 on the hunting trophy is great, and only 98 on the dangerous bunnies, but they make each subsequent reroll cheaper, so the number here is actually a lot higher. Though Spyglass and Dangerous Bunny don't synergize because the discounts will sort of cancel each other out. But the Cursed Spyglass and the 2 Spyglasses made us 227, so they were fine, especially given that they come with range. Black Flag for 700 materials and 10k damage on the laser turret in the last couple waves, which is just kind of fun. 0 healing from the tentacles because we took 0 damage on wave 20, thanks to our dodge being high and getting lucky on several dodges in a row. All right, my friends, hope you've enjoyed this run, and of course, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, this run is really fun. I recommend it as a run. If you're struggling with Hunter, this isn't where I would start, but if you just want a really fun run that keeps you on the edge of your seat, Hunter with hiking poles is a really good one. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.